Glenn Parker High Vibration Foundation. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to talk about decalcifying the pineal gland. Now, there's a number of ways to do this. There's a number of different things that you want to stay away from that directly calcify the pineal gland. There's all kinds of ideas around this, and I'm going to just go over what I personally do and have done. And I even have some things around me that I'm going to be able to grab and show for product demonstration to show you what you can actually do. And really, first and foremost, if you really want to decalcify your body as a whole and your pineal gland will come along for the ride, would be raw food, raw diet, raw. As you know, and let's just say you don't have to go 100% raw if you don't want to, but really epically more toward that end as humanly possible. As much as humanly possible. Now, there are bodybuilders, professional bodybuilders that are raw. So when people say, well, you can't get enough protein sources and this and that and the other thing, not the case. Now, there will be some exceptions where some people's bodies, just their body consciousness doesn't want or isn't ready to have raw food as 100%. That's fine as well. Don't judge yourself. You know, your body knows what it needs, and if you really have to have a hamburger, go get a grass-fed or get a corn-fed hamburger that's organic, that's humane, as much as possible, because the other side of that coin is meats are very acidic, and they create a very acidic environment that calcifies the pineal gland and makes an overall environment for bugs to grow in of all sorts, whether it be cancer or candida or mold or fungus or whatever might be growing in there. They like that. They less like a neutral environment. They don't like that. They don't like an alkaline environment. They like a very acidic environment. So raw food, and you can get raw meals. I don't have I tossed out the container. I have some of the powder, but I don't have one of the containers. You can look that up, and it's fantastic. You can get that anywhere. You can even get it at places like Vitacost. You can get it cheaper than going physically into the store, sometimes by 25%. Have it shipped directly to your house, which is always nice, and shipping is free when it's over 50 bucks. Sorry for plugging a Vitacost, but you know they're great, and they ship fast, and I've never had any issues with them. I get a number of different things from them, vitamins, all kinds of stuff. Now on with the show. Now you can have, on the flip side of that, you want to monitor, well, altogether you want to monitor your pH. And when you're having a raw food diet, you really don't need to monitor it because it's going to be alkaline no matter what. But there are some things you can do as contributors to that. Now, what I like to do as part of the raw food diet, and just like I still have hamburger from time to time because I had a condition where hemoglobin was an issue, and iron and some of the elements in hamburger really feed that, and I'm just finding some raw food diets that are replacing that. So during the course of the day, like I will go ahead if I have a hamburger or whatnot, or when I think it's time, as I've monitored my pHs and it's time to shift my pHs over a little bit, or if I'm just hungry and I want a snack. This is a spring mix. You can get these like as a 16 ounce. And you can get them as a 10 or 16 ounce, and you can get them at, you know, Whole Foods has them, almost all grocery stores have them, Walmart, all kinds of places have them, and you can get them, they're organic. And there's a super green version where it's just organic greens. So I do 50-50, I do, because you're getting a spring mix, you're getting different types of, you're getting a variety of types of items, which is really key. Just for overall health, is to get a variety of different types of foods. So there's a mix of greens in that, and it has some water in it, and I have a little bit of traditional Chinese medicine in there too. I have some tea. I pour off a little bit of my tea in there too, because A, I like the flavor, and B, I like to have a sustained amount of that during the course of the day. Now, I'll also add to that some Celtic sea salt. I'll sprinkle in some, or I'll put a tablespoon or teaspoon, whatever my body is craving at the time. Now, your body is effectively a biochemical machine burning at nearly 100 degrees, and it has a lot of tasks to do. Some of them enzymatic, some of them are just, you know, are so complex that you don't even want to get into them right now. Colloidal minerals and the enzymatic activity you get from raw food, because it's still alive, is epic compared to like something that comes out of a can, or having a piece of meat, getting primarily protein and high in amino acids. So you're getting amino acids, you're having a diverse diet, you're adding colloidal minerals. There also is monoatomic elements, trace amounts in sea salts, and especially in like the Celtic sea salts. Now they also make a lot of the Ormus and some of the other types of monoatomic elements out of like the higher density sea salts that are really dense in nutrition. I recommend those too in switching up different types of minerals. So I'll put some of these in there. Sometimes I'll just shake some in my mouth because my body feels like it needs more colloidal mineral content. Now you're combining colloidal minerals, you are watching your pH, you're maybe having a raw food diet, you're having all these different types of things. And what else can I do? Well, you can be more mindful of detoxing. Now this is fantastic, just an added supplementation to the diet. It has very high in peppers, which open up the arterial path, will get more blood flow to the pineal gland and to every other part of your body. Because really, we're just not talking about the pineal gland. You are denaturing and decalcifying everything in your body. Now, the pineal gland takes the brunt of it because it is, by blood flow purposes to organ ratio, it takes the most blood flow of any organ in the body for its size. Because it's a little, tiny little thing. And the blood flow that goes through it is epic. So these types of things help really good. Now, he makes fantastic products. He has some detox teas. He has some programs, some detox programs, like 5-day programs, one for the liver, one for the kidneys, and the one for the kidney is great too as far as pH, and one for the intestinal tract. This is part of the one for the intestinal tract, but I like this one just as an added bit. So I'll throw in a couple of these with my shake, not in the shake, but after, because even though these things they're coated, right? You got a little coating on these little bad boys. These things touch your tongue, even with the coating on there. You're like, ooh, hello! The pepper in there will light you up if that gets onto your tongue without any any distance between everything. I try to put one in. Like emptying a couple of them in there and drinking them is the most unpleasant experience. So other things you can do is have snacks around, like if you're not going to be able to eat, this is a nice raw food snack. It's fantastic if you love coconut. They have tons of other flavors. There's tons of other companies. Non-GMO, no gluten, no soy, no this, no that, none of the bad stuff that you want. It's all good, and it really does. You know, this will help decalcify because you are monitoring your pH. This is alkaline. This is good stuff. So you're having your shakes, and say, what else can I do? And by the way, when you have a raw food diet, your nutritional density is so high that things have a hard time living in your body. I'm not saying that you can't catch a cold or that you can't do this and you can't, things can't happen, but the likelihood is much less because you are a machine burning it at just about 100 degrees. The more antioxidants you have, oxidation, you're oxidizing. You are giving your body things so that your body doesn't oxidize it. It allows it to repair itself. These types of diets allow it to repair itself. Lemon water is fantastic, or if you have some kind of tea that you like and you think lemon would augment it, besides having a ton of vitamins and minerals, I think there's K and C and some other things in here. You can, this is great for decalcifying the pineal gland. Please rinse your mouth out with regular water after you're done with it, because this is citric acid. It will eat the enamel off of your teeth. The higher strength that you have, the better. And a matter of fact, a lot of things, this is sugary and whatnot. This will damage your teeth. Brush them afterward. At least rinse your mouth out. Put a clean, a couple ounces of water and swish it out and swallow it or spit it out, whatever makes you happy. And then another one to rinse out the rest. But especially when you're having lemon water and things like that, because it will damage your teeth if you just leave it on there. It can do things to the enamel over time, and bad juju. Lemon good, lemon water good, great for decalcifying the pineal gland, but just watch the collateral damage to your teeth and things like that. Just like anything, you eat a meal, try to brush your teeth, or at least rinse out your mouth. That's good juju. Now, as far as pollutants in the body, we'll go over that, because I think the diet portion, you have a pretty good idea. Seek out people that you think would be good for raw food diets that resonate with you. There's tons of them out there. They have books. They have diets. They take and do consultations. They give you an hour and have a conversation and help you do meal replacements and get things that taste like the things that you used to like and eat before, so that you actually are not stressing out, or the body's the psychology is is there, that you're getting things that you want. and that when you have cravings and stuff like that, you can get things. Excuse me, your containers are really, really, really important, because even when you get plastic that's PVC free and all these other things, if they get hot, if they sit in the car and you are in warmer climates, or if they get super, super cold, you're on the East Coast and it's starting to go into 30s like it is now at night. Fortunately, I'm back on the west side, but here in Vegas right now, it gets uber hot. And superheated bottle of water in stainless steel, okay, no worries. In any kind of plastic, no matter how high-end it is, if you can drink it and it doesn't taste like water, maybe it has a little plastic taste, not good. Will do something to the pineal gland and to your body as a whole. So to be mindful of that and try to get things that are more along in that line, that nature. Now, mind you, I know it's heavier, it is a little bit more cumbersome, it's a little harder. You put it in your backpack, it's not as flexible, it's not as malleable as a bottle of water, but as a plastic container. But it is what it is. It really is. It is a give and take. It is healthier to have it in the stainless steel. And note, special safety tip: never put these in the freezer. I put one in, and I didn't have that much water in it, and I sealed it up instead of leaving it open, and it warped out the bottom so it wouldn't sit right anymore. It kind of like it would never sit; it would just flip over. So these things last forever. This is a couple of years old. A few dings here and there, but for the most part, they're pretty sturdy. Now, other things you can get, the Synergy drinks are great. Now, if you have any yeast problems, you might want to stay away from these because they have they're fermented, so yeast really likes that type of environment. It might give you a rash or make you itchy or something like that. Then stay away from them until you have your candida problem under control. What I do, because I am very sensitive to yeast and stuff like that, even though I don't have an active problem, I'm sensitive to mold and stuff like that. I'll take this and I'll take some mineral water, like some sparkling mineral water. This isn't the bottle for the mineral water, but it's the same company. And I'll put a little bit of mineral water in there. And I try to find organic ones. They're a little harder to find because they're harder to certify out for whatever reason. And then I'll mix the two together, and maybe I'll put some lemon in it, and then I'll test it for a pH. I have these little dental pH strips that you can get. You can get them off eBay. And don't put them in there directly because it's a thing of chemicals to test it. Pour a little bit off. I have this is the end of this one here. Cheers. And that's like some tea and some mineral water and a little lemon. And I test it to see what the pH is. And just once you get used to mixing them at a certain point, you'll know where they need to be for you. And if you test your own pH, which I do recommend during the course of the day, especially if you're eating meats and other types of things that have a lot of acidic states, don't touch them to your tongue. Put something, a little spit of something into something, and test it, and wash it out and throw away that strip because it is bad juju. It's chemicals. You don't want to have that into your body. That will help further calcify. Now, things to stay away from: clean water. Got to have clean water. That normal tap water, even through just a little charcoal filter, no juju. Don't drink that. Bad juju. The calcium or the sodium chloride or the sodium fluoride, we'll get in there, and it really monstrously wrecks the pineal gland. Toothpaste. So I didn't get is there's a sea salt toothpaste with rosemary and mint in it, and I forgot the company, but I don't have it here. I was going to grab that. In any case, ones that don't have any fluoride in them. And matter of fact, if you're reading through the ingredients and you have a hard time pronouncing it, you might want to question that and see what the hell it is before you buy it. It is the cleanest things that you can get to put in your body, and you're brushing your teeth with these things. Sometimes you can just use. Sometimes I'll just use sea salt because it's very coarse, and you put a little flavoring or something in there, and that works really good. So it's finding alternatives. Really look at your ingredients when you're buying foods. If you see sodium benzoate, run away and don't buy it. There's a lot of things like that you wouldn't even imagine would have them in it. But instead of using citric acid, which is basically like lemon juice and derivatives of lemon juice because it's more expensive, A lot of companies, now if you're buying organic things, it's very, very unlikely that you're going to find sodium benzoate in it, but still read it just to make sure. It creates benzoid rings in the body, and it helps calcify and destroy the pineal gland, which is very sensitive to these types of things. So that's another thing to be mindful of. So your food sources are really critical in decalcifying the pineal gland and finding the best food sources you can, and getting the toothpastes that are calcium or that are fluoride free. Now there's good versions of fluoride. You know, when you're having your minerals and when you're looking at things like this, you'll see different types of ingredients in there. One of them might be fluoride, but it's not sodium fluoride. You know, it's a normal, organic, everyday. It's these other types of fluorides have been modified to be really aggressive and really some of the most active ingredients in nature besides radiation. Matter of fact, you know, and I think I've already explained this, is that, you know, some of the main ingredients in antidepressants and to slow people down is fluoride. It's one of the probably the top things to stay away from if you want to go and get back into balance as a body as a whole and to decalcify. Now there's other ways to do this too, is setting an intention during the course of the day that you want to decalcify and denature and get more into alignment, a higher vibration. More things will come into your experience that will allow you to do this. So the mental state is there. Now there's sounds, there's like the Lemurian singing bowls, there's the regular Buddhist bowls, you know, the ones that you go, and there's different chimes, there's drumming. It's whatever is exciting for you, whatever you feel is within your excitement that you want to pursue. You can play the C# sound, which Bashar recommends as at a low level in the background, creates a synergistic resonance between you and the earth, and the earth will more support you, and it actually will help. I play it when I go to bed as a white noise in the background, so that, you know, other noises in the area are nullified out, and I find dream states are better, and overall body energy is better. And I think one of the last things is darkness, darkness, darkness. When you go to bed, to have it be dark as possible, even if you have to go get blackout curtains and whatnot, because the pineal gland is activated during darkness, and it can go and create melatonin, put you into lower sleep states, and put you into like the really, really, really low sleep states, which help activate and get you better dream states and get you into better astral states, and to get you more connected into higher dimensional, because you are a higher dimensional entity, you're a multi-dimensional being, and you're experiencing this particular dimension right now, but you do exist in other dimensionality, one of which is the oversoul. And the whole point of this exercise, among many things, is decalcifying the pineal gland, is to give you more access to all that is and to your oversoul. And that access to your oversoul gives you more synchronistic access to anything that you can want to bring into your experience that would be exciting to you. There's many more things we can go over. There's detoxing. You just gotta, you know, make sure that you are very careful during that process, that you're gentle with yourself, and because a lot of times when you're detoxing different organs, it can create higher emotional states. Some old traumas might come up. You know, if you have somebody that you want to talk to, have somebody on standby that you can have conversations with, because a lot of times, you know, there's a lot of things that come up during those types of processes. Now, if you find that you're transitioning from a meat-based diet to like a raw diet to give it a try, or even, you know, eating more raw, you're going to find that is a wickedly higher vibrational state, because the heavier foods or anything that's fried or you get from McDonald's or a burger, stuff like that, it's higher fat content. It's going to slow you down. Just energetically, your body has to deal with those things. All your chakras are out of alignment. You know, your crown chakra, the third eye, is the top one. It's the first one. Now, there's still so much more stuff to cover, but I think that's really good. Maybe I'll do a part 2 in the future. I think that's all the critical stuff. I think minding your pH and being able to go and try to tend toward a raw food diet, because that really is the key to getting the pineal gland all cleaned out, and your body in general, but arterially, you know, your intestines, which are, you know, they're as long as like 25 to 30 feet for the average person in length from end to end. That's the mother of all digestion. Your intestine feed everything in your body, cleaning that out as well. And a raw food diet will help do that. and minding your pHs and just being, you know, good to yourself in general, and being more mindful of being forgiving to yourself first and foremost, because you're doing the best you can do at the time you're doing it with the information you have. I think we are more hard on ourselves than most people could be on ourselves. So I'd say just be more easy on yourself. So I hope that's very helpful. If you have any questions, send me a message, send comments down below, like it, and we're all good. I think that's everything I wanted to share today. Thank you very much. Love and light, and have a fantastic day.